afternoon, good evening.
Or good night.
Welcome. Good night.
Because you say we're in the Matrix.
We are in the Matrix, so cheers to the
Cheers,
Matrix.
cheers. But explain that shit again.
Okay.
Because I'm curious.
So,
I want to see your point of view. And all
I
that shit
have
about that.
I have a theory. Well, maybe not even a theory. This is just things that I make up in my mind with the help of the internet.
You're an Andrew Tate fan?
Huh?
Are you an Andrew Tate fan?
Who?
Andrew Tate?
Andrew Tate? He has nothing to do with this. No. What I believe is that out of all the theories that are in the world, I believe that we are in a dome. I think this is a dome. I think that there's reasons why we can go certain places. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking this is like a Maze Runner, Truman Show type of deal, right? So this is real life. The way I want to explain it is like, this is real life. This is the world that we are living in, like you and me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But this is not the real world, like the real world. Like there's an exit out of this somewhere. And there's a whole different world that we don't even know about.
Okay.
But this world that you and I are in, this dimension, this dome that we are in, this is the world that we are living in because this is what we were put in. So it's just like, if we were in a different planet, we can go to different planets, which is, Mars, Venus, all that stuff, and they're uninhabitable, of course. But think about it, like, this is just another little planet. Have you seen that video of all the Adult Swim shows, which is like Futurama, The Simpsons, Family Guy, and there's an episode where they all kind of like get out of their little world and it's all a dome and they're all like categorized within their own show.
I have not seen that shit.
I have to show you that video for sure.
Send them my way.
So
We'll tag him in the video.
So that is what I think. I think that we are in a dome. I think that this is kind of a simulation. There's a lot of shit that is so unexplained. Like, we see so many videos of, like, birds flying just like that. Like, they're staying stationary, but they're flying. Or, bots, like, not functioning correctly. I think that there is so much proof that we are in a simulation.
What do you mean about bots?
Have you never seen videos of, like... There's this one specific video that comes to mind. There's like a lady that is taking a picture like with one of these cameras, and she's literally going like this, like she's stuck, like she's like lagging.
I've never seen that.
Okay, I'm gonna need to send you all these videos.
Okay, yeah, send me that one. But like, for example, about the birds, like, I have an explanation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the frames per second on a camera.
What?
The frames per second on a camera. Like, you know how it's a bunch of pictures, frames?
Right. Oh, yeah.
You know how they work.
Like a freeze frame?
No. I was going to say the N-word. Stupid.
Don't be saying that shit. Cut right there.
No. Frames per second. You know how, like, videos are
Hold on,
just
you're saying that too fast.
Frames?
Frames per second.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what you're saying.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So you know what are those?
Right.
Okay, so if a bird claps at the same speed in which the camera is recording, then it looks like it's not moving because it's holding the same one. So sometimes the videos are that. I mean, I will have to see it in real life to believe it. Because when you see it on camera, sometimes that happens.
Right.
So I feel like that goes to your that question.
Right.
Now you say that there are certain places we cannot go. Which ones?
Yeah, we can't go to the wall of Antarctica. We can't go to Area 51. We can't go to the Bermuda Triangle. We can't... I mean, there's lots of places that we don't even know
you can
about.
go to the Bermuda Triangle. It's like...
But is it a portal? Is it an exit?
I don't think it's neither. Because if you see in the map, and this is something that is scientifically proved, they're like... I mean, I guess this is like way out of my area of expertise. But they're like poles that confuse the radars of airplanes and shit like that. So when they fly through that, or when they're like traveling by ship, the little compass gets lost. Right. So they get lost in the middle of the sea because they just run out of fuel running in circles because they don't know how to get out of it. Because it's just like a huge...
And where are all the boats? Where are all the planes?
Under the sea.
Where are all the people?
Under the sea.
But they've tried to find them so many times.
Yeah, but like, we don't know what's at the bottom of the ocean. Like, we have explored probably like 5% of what's underneath there.
Right.
So we don't know how many fucking people is down there. Like, think about it. Every single person that wants to make another person disappear, they throw them under the ocean. Right. Because they know they're not going to find it. And then on top of that is like animals that we don't know about. They probably eat the leftovers of humans or like shit like that.
But even ships. Like, I think that there are so many ships and planes and boats. I guess a boat is a ship. But there should be some remains. There should be some remains. I know that we don't know the bottom of the ocean, but how many has there been? Hundreds, thousands,
But I don't
and
think a
there's
lot
not
of
even a
people-
single one.
No, I feel like we'll need to look statistics, because I feel like there hasn't been enough airplanes in there to be able to find them.
Right.
Because I mean, if it's in like one, 2, 5, 10, then I mean, in that huge space, it will be hard to find them. I mean, they're big, but not as big as the ocean. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if freaking whales can hide under the ocean, of course a fucking plane can hide
Right.
under the ocean. You know, and especially if it's at the bottom and if it's not moving. Because I mean, just the depth of the ocean is way too deep.
Okay, so what about, like, for example, like you're saying that there's all this, obviously the ocean is fucking huge, right?
Yeah.
Actually, though, that actually brings me to another theory that kind of makes sense with the dome theory, that ocean is space.
Ocean.
Have you
is
heard of that
space.
theory?
No.
Have you heard of that theory? So, like, aliens, they are in, like you know how we've been discovering new species of ocean life, and it's crazy, and they look like aliens. Like, if you really think about it, if they weren't in water and you just put them in space, they look like fucking aliens.
Yeah.
So maybe the ocean is the alien. I'm sorry, the ocean is space, and that would bring a little
And
more
they're
to
full
the
of aliens?
Maybe not. Of course, I think that there's actual marine life, but maybe they are the aliens, and we're just living among them.
I mean, there's a theory that say that octopus or octopi
Like the pie.
Mm-hmm. are aliens because of the way they develop and the way they like their body works. There's a theory in which they say they come from outer space because of how advanced they are.
Are they the ones that have no heart?
The fuck?
Somebody has no heart.
Some bitches.
I mean, I'm talking about ocean life. Or is it that has no heart or no brain? It's like an octopi.
No, they have huge fucking brains. They're the smartest creatures after us.
I thought dolphins were smarter.
Yeah, but I feel like octopi way smarter than us. I mean, not us, but like the second after us.
Okay, but I will definitely try to like have notes next time and explain my dome theory a little bit more.
Yeah, because I mean, even you said about like certain areas in which we're not allowed to. So like, you say the north, the
Antarctica. Yeah, we cannot go to an Antarctic wall.
Why not?
It's like forbidden. It's like
It's forbidden, like for real. Is it like against the
yeah,
law?
yeah. Like you cannot go past a certain point in Antarctica. Like you cannot go.
Because I would imagine you could. You just like have to have the gear for it, and it's like such extreme temperatures that you will
Right.
die on your way. So it's not like you can't go because they're not letting you go. No, you're not like government entities. It's just because you can physically go because of like how much money will cost and.
I
It's
think
such
that if
an
people
expensive
wanted to go, they would have already gone. Like, look how many people are climbing Mount Everest. It's,
Yeah,
it's
but
that
it's
type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are prepared for this. People do these. So I feel like because like human nature, people are just drawn to that because it's a fucking wonder. You know what I'm saying? Like a natural wonder. So why are people not allowed?
I feel like they're
Is it a
allowed.
door?
It's just really hard. And like for example, the thing you said about Area 51, like I kind of get it halfway, but there's some theories that say that they still keeping Area 51 active so they can keep people from the real new Area 51. So that's just
Okay,
like,
so that's another new Area 51. It's another portal. It's another exit. How many exits are there really? Like, for example, caves, like, that have been discovered in, like, the outskirts of the world, and they discover, like, life from, like, things that were supposed to be extinct, and, like, brand new life. Like, I need to show you all these things.
yes, because we don't have the credentials to talk about this
I
shit.
know we really don't have the credentials. It's just literally the internet.
Yeah, because we're just mumbling here. Because I mean, I see your point, but at the same time, I feel like there has been some evidence that supports the theory that it's real. It's like saying that the world is flat, you know? Like, I don't believe that shit. And it's been proven that it's not.
Okay, but here's my thing. My only thing that would kind of debunk my dome theory is that we get to go in space.
Yeah.
Right? So we see the Earth. We see that. But what if it's fake?
How the fuck would that be fake? How can you fake building a rocket ship and then pretending to fly it out of space?
It's like entertainment. Entertainment will always triumph everything else, right? So if you have all these entities, government entities, or maybe outside government entities, which is like the truth, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
have you ever seen The Maze Runner?
Yeah.
Okay, so like think about that. Like whenever they got out of the maze and it was like a different type of world and there was a whole apocalypse going on, but there was like a government within the government, right? So they can just make the whole thing up. It's distraction.
I mean, I feel like there's definitely distractions, but they're not that crazy. Because I mean, I feel like our problems right now is like war, poverty, genocide, the fact that countries like the U.S. are invading smaller countries and like all the shit is
We're
happening
invading
in Ukraine
countries?
all the fucking time. I mean,
What
the
country
war in
are we
Afghanistan, Iraq.
I feel like no, we weren't invading.
We were protecting freedom.
We were helping them out
How the fuck?
in some way. No. Because now the whole thing in is it Iran? Right now, like the whole women's freedom happening. They're executing people left and right for basic women right. Like now the Taliban took over. You know what I'm talking about? Okay, yeah, so it's in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Taliban pretty much is, like, I feel like that's a huge problem, right?
I mean, this is so problem, like think about it's not our problem.
Right. So like think about it like in a video game, and this kind of goes back to my dome theory. The Matrix and the dome theory kind of go hand in hand for me, because it's like you have all these parts of the world where crazy shit is happening. Like you have the Taliban going on in Afghanistan. You have fucking Turkey going earthquakes and holes are digging from the ground, and I don't even know what the fuck going on in Latin America, but I'm sure there's something going on in Latin America, right? You have a huge, massive gun problem in the United States. So like it's all these problems, right? Mm. All different parts of the world. So it seems like a fucking video game. You know what I'm saying? Like you go, like think about it like you're in the lobby of Super Mario World where you get to go to whichever castle you want. It's going to give you different missions.
Yeah.
You go to a different country and it's going to give you a different mission.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like you're just rambling a little too much. Because I mean, I get what you're saying. But at the same time, it's like you got to focus on your own problems here before being able to solve someone else's, So like...
Right.
My thing about going and invading other people is like, why would you involve yourself in another problem where you can even fix your own problem here? Like, for example, the problem in Ukraine.
We're hypocritical.
We're fucking fake, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's just hypocritical. Yeah. That's just not saying like, yeah, like every country has its problems and we try to help each other out, even though it makes it fucking worse. But it just seems so crazy that this is real life. Like, this cannot be real life. Like, you're gonna tell me that we were put on this earth to fucking work for a non-living wage while all this crazy shit is going on? Like, nothing really matters if you think about it.
I mean, I guess that's what purpose you give to your life.
Right.
Or, like, what value you give to life.
Right.
Because, I mean, some people can work a 9 to 5 and be the most happy fucking person in the world.
Right.
And, for example, there's another, like, movie stars that people, like, normal people think that, oh, my God, they have the most amazing job in the world. And they're the most depressed people in the world. So it doesn't really matter. I mean...
It doesn't matter. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. Because why would it matter if we're in a matrix?
Yeah, but, I mean, so what would be the solution?
To get out of the matrix.
So how will you get out of it? And what will be the outcome of it?
Maybe by opening your third eye.
Your asshole?
Bitch.
Like, was it like...
Your third eye, like your...
See, for like, what does that mean? Yeah. That's the thing.
See,
like...
that's a whole different theory. See, this is... all theories, if you really wanted to, they really could all be connected. And isn't that the problem in itself?
I feel like if people are looking for points to connect, they will always find them. Even if they don't have any connection at all. So, I mean, you can say that, I don't know, me being born will have to do with a war that's going to happen 100 years from now.
Right.
So, like, if you're looking for shit to connect, you will always find shit to connect.
Right.
But at the same time, you got to be objective and, like, follow a logical path.
Right.
So, I don't know. That's what I was asking about, like, what the fuck does it there I mean? What does it mean to get out of the matrix? Like,
I think
it doesn't mean being a millionaire and being able to do whatever you want. Doesn't mean, like, playing ball with the government with, like, the high-end motherfuckers, or, like, what does it mean?
I think for this, I guess, simulation, yes. Like, if you want to somewhat break out of the matrix while still being in the matrix, you'd be a high power, somebody that could actually make change, like politicians, like the fucking Kardashians, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, think about it. No, think about it. Like, the Kardashians have so much influence in the world, right?
I think it's just in the U.S. I will.
Or maybe just in the U.S. How many people are in the U.S.?
430 million dumbasses, something like that.
I thought it was billions.
No,
I thought we had
we're 8 billion in the world.
Oh. Okay, well, as many people as there are in the United States, like, that's a lot of fucking people. And
But what kind of influence can they have? That's my thing.
Cultural influence.
What
Cultural influence. Okay, so distraction. They could be part of the, if they're trying to really get out of the matrix within this matrix, kind of, they have influences and connections with the actual government and be like, hey, this real shit is happening, but you need to distract the masses.
See,
so get a BBL and do that shit. Get a new BBL and then reverse it, and it's gonna fuck up their brain.
See, I don't think that's what happens with celebrities, because I feel like that's people that get a little momentum, and then the government, the people who's really moving the world, says, okay, like, something's really fucked up on my left side, so I'm gonna use something all the way on my right side, and I'm gonna confuse the rest of the world with this shit while I fix this shit.
I mean, if you think about it, like,
and that's why they use, like, celebrities. So, like,
exactly,
there's a fucking bomb going on here. Let's tell the media to show the Kardashians.
Yeah.
Becoming or like becoming women from being men or shit like that. You know, like just
Are you talking about Caitlyn Jenner?
I mean, isn't she part of the Kardashians?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like something completely irrelevant that can get people's attention and distract them from what's going on in real life.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
But they don't even realize that they're being used that way. They're just getting a lot of money for being stupid.
Right. I don't think that they necessarily realize that they're being used. But I mean, the government knows that they're being used. So it's like I said, keep the gameplay going on with this level, this dimension, this matrix, while we don't even know what's going on the outside.
See, I mean, but I feel like we should know, but also, and I'm just talking about the U.S. because that's where I live most of my life right now, we're a very uneducated society.
Yeah, for sure.
So that affects as well. So instead of like for example, the TikTok thing that's been going on for a couple years now by now, they say that in China and Japan and all these places, like, the TikToks that they show is like how to play an instrument, educational TikToks. Right here is soft porn at this point. Yeah,
I don't know what type of TikTok side you're in, but I'm not in that TikTok side.
I mean, you're not because you're a woman, but I feel like to most men, that's what TikTok has become. Just a bunch of good-looking bitches just being in underwear.
But I mean, they're just getting their coin.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But that's what this is the content that the government is allowing. Because at the end of the day,
right.
TikTok is being controlled by the government. Every single company in the U.S. and in the world is being controlled by their local government.
I thought TikTok was being controlled by China because that's what the platform is.
It is, but at the same time, I mean, you don't see like a Chinese bitch shaking her ass. You see a white bitch shaking her ass. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, they're obviously showing American people.
American content.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Because if it was China, there would be like fucking communism 101.
Okay. Is
so
China communist?
To a certain degree, yeah. As far as I know. Because some of you know more than I know, so... You'll probably flip shit if I'm wrong, but correct me if you want. But I forget what I was going with this point. Oh yeah, so like it's just we've been going all over the place.
We really are going all over the place. No, but it's good conversation though, because it's like you really don't know, and like I said, I just don't think that anything really matters.
I mean, I feel like it doesn't matter if you don't give it meaning. You have to give it meaning to your life to be able to enjoy it.
And I agree 1,000%. Like, what we do with our lives and what we make it out to mean to us, when you really, like, compare it to the big scale, does it really matter? There's still homicide going on. There's still genocide. There's still racism. There's still fucking police brutality, women's rights, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, which side of the coin do you want to be at?
Whichever you choose.
Yeah.
You're just gonna find your own happiness, because, like, I'll give you the example at work. Sometimes you go to work and you see certain people and you're like, oh, this motherfucker's gonna be here for the next 10, 20 years and he's gonna complain every single day about his job.
Right.
But he's not gonna do anything about it. And then some people is like, I fucking hate this job, but I'm gonna work my ass off so I can, like, I don't know, until I finish college or until I get this certain amount of money so I can find something better. Like, something happens and then I can do the next step in my life. So that's the people that give meaning to their life. And
Right.
there's people who doesn't give meaning to the lives, and that's when the cycle kind of stops. And I feel like that's where society starts becoming angry at society itself, because they feel stuck in a little loop, but they don't do anything to make it better for themselves.
Right.
So I don't know about the Matrix. Like, I feel like we need a better definition about it to find out what that shit really means, because that's a very just
It's a broad
Yeah,
topic
it's a broad
to
topic.
not have a real like textbook definition.
yeah. Because I mean, honestly, like, I don't know about you, but I only heard about the Matrix when Andrew Tate got into like YouTube and became very viral. Like, he started talking about that shit, and it gave it like a whirl to
Really?
like the
That's a-
working class. That's what I
Okay.
started
That's
hearing it.
that's the first time you heard it. Oh
About
wow.
the Matrix, yeah.
Okay.
But like, see, like, my mind is not thinking about like all this shit and how the government is controlling us. No, like, I know the government is controlling us. I'm
Right.
not thinking they are. I know they are.
Right.
You just gotta educate yourself to be able to see through the bullshit. That's my thing. And I
Right.
feel like that we're going back to like America not being an educated country.
Right.
Like, I feel like people just fucking ignore shit and they don't pay attention to nothing. So if they say go left, they go left. If
Right.
they say go back to right, they go back to right. Like, they cannot think for themselves.
The masses do. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just following orders blindly, like
Right.
cattle. But shit, how we got here?
I don't know how we got here. We got here from here, and now it's gone.
It really is gone. But shit, that's the first topic. Okay, but okay, so let's just wrap it up there.
Okay.
Okay, so what else you want to talk about?
You said you wanted to talk about the girl that got assaulted at the gym.
Oh yeah, so
Yes.
that
What was her name? Let's look up her
I have
name.
no idea. Like, when you look up the name, I found that first on Instagram, and then I saw a couple of news outlets pick up the story. But I found that it was very interesting, because if I remember correctly, there was this girl that was working out by herself in a gym. I don't even know where.
It's
I
in
would
Tampa,
guess-
Florida.
Yeah, I was gonna say fucking Florida.
Yeah, it's in Tampa, Florida.
Of course, it was in Florida. And some random guy that she thought went to the gym at night knocked on the door, and then
Yup.
she just opened the door and she let him in, thinking that he was gonna work out. But then she started going back to her workout routine, and he started following her like all around the gym, and eventually he attacked her, and it's presumably that he wanted to rape her.
I mean, it definitely looked like he wanted to rape her on the
Yeah.
video. So her name is Nashali Alma.
Respect to you, big bitch.
Yeah, you're a boss ass bitch. You said fuck you. I'm not gonna go down fighting or without a fight.
Yeah.
My bad.
If I go down, so you're gonna go down with me.
Yeah, for sure. But like, no, that's scary. Like, that's so scary as a woman. Cause I don't know, the gym didn't look like a big gym because everything was kind of like
Crowded.
close together, which is, that's just small gym type shit. But bitch, we can't even work out in peace.
Okay, so this is, I have my mixed feelings about this, because there's been recently a situation in which some girl started recording herself working out, but she was talking through the video, and she was talking about how all these men staring at her like make her looking comfortable, and they were fucking pigs and they were fucking animals, and then the internet just shit all over her to the point that she had to apologize for it.
Why did she apologize? Why did
Because
she get heat?
everybody saw through her shit. Like, there was this good look.
Oh,
She was
okay.
this girl that was wearing booty shorts and a very tight tank top. She was like pretty much fucking naked at the gym,
Yeah.
which is what most bitches do nowadays. That I don't agree with, but that's just not me. Well, that's just me. And I mean, obviously, if you see a good-looking girl, you're just gonna glance at her. You know, it's like,
Yeah, I
it's
glance
human.
at women too. Yeah,
It's
if you're
human
fine, I'm
nature.
gonna look at you.
So there was a guy that was walking by, and he was checking her out, and she was just talking to me like, "Oh my god, I'm so uncomfortable. Oh my god, he's such a fucking pig. All this shit," and she uploaded a video, I think on YouTube or Twitter, one of those two. And then on the comments, people were saying that she was the one instigating, because he looked like the guy was just checking her out for a minute and then walk away or like came
Right.
back. So they were thinking maybe he was just waiting for that machine, like she can move the fuck away so he can keep working on that machine.
Right.
And she was making a big deal out of it when the guy wasn't even close to her. Like, it was within the frame, but she was recording, and then she was talking so much shit about this guy. So of course the internet shit on her, and she ended up apologizing and saying that she didn't mean to make a bad impression on the man and all this shit.
Right.
So because of those kind of situations, sometimes you don't know which way to go. Because like
Right.
sometimes you go to the gym and it looks like looks like TikTok almost. You know?
Yeah.
Like, bitches are half naked. Yeah, you see like this girl with these thick, beautiful legs. You're like, damn, bitch, you got an ass. Or
Yeah.
like they got like these really tight push-up bras, and like, we are men, we're humans, we are meant to reproduce with each other. you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're gonna stare the same way if you see a thick, good-looking man, you're gonna stare at him.
I think that that's just such a fine line that unfortunately the way that the world is today, it really is like walking on eggshells. Because based on what you just said, you could get some heat. I'm
Yeah.
not saying I agree with you. I'm not saying I disagree with you. I think, yes, bitches looking fine as hell at the gym. They want to look fine because then they feel good and then their workout is better, which is fantastic. I do agree on like if you're looking good, I'm definitely gonna be like, but I'm not gonna be like, like drooling all over. Like I'm gonna check you out for a second and I'm gonna go about my day, right? And I think that's where the fine line happens. Like, yeah, like girls want to record themselves looking cute, working out, and they have a good physique, they have a good face, they have the outfit, which is great, right? But then I guess what I'm asking maybe is like, how is that fine line traveled both by men and women? Because if you're saying that she was up there like looking the way that she did, which is great, but then she was also counting on the men to stare at her to penalize the men, then I do agree that she was in the wrong, right? Like you're chasing that clout of like men are predators, men are nasty, this, that, and the other. But it's also your responsibility as a girl knowing what's up and also not victimizing every single man. Like you said, like I'm gonna stare as a girl, you're gonna stare as a man, that's fine. It's the respect that you do it with. Like if you're gonna be like, yep, she's got a nice booty or whatever, and keep going about your business, I get it. But if the girl was definitely egging on like, oh, men are looking at me, now every single man is a pig, then it's like, okay, not all men are bad, not all men are pigs.
Yeah. I mean, I see your point as well. I just feel that, to me, the gym has been sexualized too much. Because it used to be a place where you went there and you start sweating disgustingly, you start smelling bad, and you were looking at your works because you were putting in the work.
Right.
So it was not like, let me dress cute so I can go to the gym. Like, the fuck? Mm-hmm. You're there to work out, to sweat, to feel like a complete bitch, and then walk out like a boss-ass bitch.
But then some people feel better when they look good.
Yeah.
I know whenever I'm working out and I look crusty and dusty, I feel bad about myself because that's just my self-esteem, right? But if I know that I'm looking cute and I'm still sweating and I have that sweat glow, I know I look like a bad bitch, right?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Where you draw the line on like what, like to me, wearing those booty shorts and those really tight push-up bra is like you're asking for attention, Like
not necessarily. I mean some people just want to look good. Some people like the hot, sexy aesthetic.
Yeah, some do, but if you like it, that means you like the attention of it. So if you're seeking the attention, what will you get disgusting? Will you get the attention?
I don't know. I can see the inner flaming you for that shit. Because because.
See, I think that will get divided between guys and girls.
Yes. Maybe, let's say, again, it depends on the person. Like, when I look good and I know I look like a bad bitch, I personally do like the attention from men, women, whatever, right? Like, yeah, tell me I'm a bad bitch because it's gonna boost my ego. And what's
okay,
ego?
But what do you mean by bad bitch? People walking by and saying, hey, you got a fat ass?
Okay, like, it's different, like, if I was at the gym. Like, if it's at the gym and somebody's complimenting me on my form and, like, hey, I don't think I've ever had anybody, like, I don't think I've ever seen anybody be like, hey, your ass looking fat. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the gym, like, at a club, I can see it, at a bar.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. There are different places, but, like, I'll give you my example because I've been going to the gym for, like, a little bit now.
Yeah.
Like, I wear sweatpants that are baggy as fuck and a shirtless, a sleeveless shirt with a hoodie on. That's usually my outfit.
Right.
And I'm working out and I'm sweating and, like, I'm in my own little world.
Right.
But I'm not, like, the typical douchebag that has, like, these tank tops that have, like, a huge hole and is showing, like, nipple and the ribs and, like...
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So that makes you look douchey.
Yeah.
And, like, those really tight shorts that it pretty much looks like a Speedo. So I'm not wearing that kind of shit.
Yeah.
But a good compliment to me is when, like, you see someone, like, kind of skinny like myself, like this kind of frame that I have, and me lifting heavy. Because I had a couple times, like, there were people stopping by and they were like, dude, you lift a lot for your size. And I'm like, oh, that's a fucking nice compliment. Like, thank you.
Yeah.
But then I see girls that are wearing, like, booty shorts and these really tight tank tops. And I've seen guys saying like, "Oh, you look really pretty in that outfit, bitch." That's code for being you look hot.
Right.
So they're not complimenting you about like how much you're lifting or how hard you're working out. They're just complimenting you on your looks, which
Right.
is fine. But if that's not what you're going for, then why do it in the first place? You know,
Because
like I feel
because
like
it's not for the man. It's not for the man. Like I said, some girls work out better when they look good and they feel good. And if they feel sexy wearing whatever they're wearing, that's their right.
I mean it is a right, but at the same time you cannot control what everybody else says about you. You know,
Right.
so why
You-
put yourself in that position if that position is gonna make you uncomfortable?
Because it's the fact that we even have to worry about being uncomfortable because, like I said, not all men are disgusting. But if you see, let's say that there's the girl benching heavy ass and she's got a nice booty, she got a nice physique, and then there's 10 guys also lifting with their big boy weights, and they're all staring at her, it really just depends on the stare. Like, I
Yeah.
understand we are humans, and if you see somebody looking good and doing bad bitch shit, you're gonna look. But it really is on the demeanor. If you are but then again, it's like, is it disrespectful to look at all?
That's the thing. Women make it look disrespectful. But see, my thing is that if you find it disrespectful in the first place, why put yourself in that position if you know how men are? If you're afraid that men are gonna catcall you and throw all these like nasty compliments at you, like saying like, "Oh, you look fucking fine," or "You got a fat ass," and these kind of comments are gonna make you feel uncomfortable in your own skin, why put yourself in that position by dressing like that? I know it's your right as a woman to dress how you want, and if you want to feel sexy, go for it. Like I applaud that shit. But if you know that those kind of comments make you uncomfortable, and then the way you dress affects that, well, put yourself in that position in the first place.
Well, I guess maybe that's like I said, there's definitely a time and a place for
Yeah.
compliments, all that things. But that's also why there's a lot of new women-only gyms. So are we really getting to the point where we have to separate men and women? Because it's just has gotten so much and like just so overwhelming for us women that we're like, all right, yeah, I don't want no man. I don't care if they're nice or not. I don't care if they're complimenting me on my form, if they're just checking me out for a second, or if they're being straight up disrespectful. I think that there has been more bad examples than good, that we've gotten to the point where we want a separation. Like, guys can have their guy gym, and women can have their women gym where they feel safe. Because unfortunately, we are living in a time where women are not safe 99% of the time. And I think that's really what the issue is, that we as women are so used to the nasty catcalling and the nasty stares. Like, I think that we are really just so fed up that we want a separation from the men when it comes to certain places. Like, if we want to look sexy at the gym and men are triggered and they've never seen a bad bitch in their life before, then you gotta go.
So, by that standard, you say there should be women gyms only and men gyms only.
I mean, there's been a lot of rise. There's been a lot of girl gyms opening up for that reason.
So you think it would be right to open a men's only gym?
Yeah, why not?
Because I feel like women will like throw a fucking tantrum on that shit. They will be like, "Oh, that's fucking sexist. Why I can go to that gym? Why I can do this at that gym?"
But women are asking for this though. Women are asking, "Hey, yeah, it's a great idea." There was somebody, I don't know where it was, California, Florida, New York, some shit like that, that it was a women only gym, and it got amazing reviews. Women were loving it because they were like, "Yeah, like I'm tired of the men," which is fine. Like, we're tired of the men, so I don't think it's a matter of like discrimination.
But
It's
I feel like
just-
it wouldn't work the other way around, because if you open a men's only gym, then women will be like, "Why the fuck I can go into this gym?" Because as a man, I can tell you that sometimes I see these girls walking by and like, I fucking wear glasses. I take them off when I work out. And sometimes I'm just staring into the fucking oblivion because I'm working out and I'm just trying to catch my breath before my next set.
Yeah.
So
you
when
can
that
see.
happens, yeah, so I can fucking see. And sometimes I see girls that I come in like, my vision is not good enough to be able to like check you the fuck out, but it's good enough to know that a woman with booty shorts is walking by. So whenever that shit happens, I kind of just like look at my phone and look down, or like I pick up the weight really fast because I don't want to be labeled as the creep guy that is just staring at girls.
So then let me ask you this. Do you feel as a man that you are now like you don't even know where to look anymore, or it's like you're not even comfortable looking at another woman because you're like, oh, she's gonna think I'm creepy when I'm really not.
Fuck yes.
See, I get that too. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like we really are walking on eggshells. So me as a woman, if I want to look sexy and I want to be a bad bitch at the gym, I'm gonna do it. But there's that thought of like, oh, men are gonna look at me and make me look uncomfortable. But then you have the thought of like, hey, I'm just kind of looking, or like, I'm gonna check you out for a second respectfully, but then I'm gonna be labeled as a creep. So it's just like, that's why I think like the men and the women gym are like so, it's such a good idea in my book. Like I would, like me, I love women only classes. I love women only certain things, because it's just like, yeah, like we're just gonna work out differently than men are. We're not gonna be like lifting shit, you know. We're gonna do it like a little bit, maybe whatever you do as a woman, like whenever you're working out, right?
Squats mostly.
I mean, squat. Yeah, you're trying to get that booty. Like, yeah, we love to have a good booty, but then it's like, okay, men are gonna look at the booty.
I mean, there's that though. That's the thing. It's just like, I like the idea of like having a guys only gym, but at the same time, I feel like if we were to do that, then feminism will just scream that shit is unacceptable, and they will fight for the right to go into that gym, then they will objectify men for that.
I don't think that women are gonna be like, oh, because you have a guys only gym, we should go into that gym. Like, I think that we live in a time with the internet, with everybody being very with a lot of opinions. If there's a guy only gym, cool, give us a girl only gym, and we call it a day. Like, we can shake on it and call it a day.
And you think women will agree to that? Because like the whole point of feminism started because they wanted the same rights as men. They wanted to be treated equal. So if you were to do that, wouldn't that be going back to not treating women equally, but not allowing them to go in it?
No, because men ruined it.
How
because y'all ruined it by raping us, harassing us, catcalling us, being disrespectful in areas where we should feel safe. Like, for example, like what was her name again? Like, for example, Miss Nashali Alma, like, homegirl was just trying to work out, and she was by herself, and then she's gonna get assaulted out of nowhere. Like, I'm sorry, but it's kind of like a class. Like, when a student ruins it for the whole fucking class. Like, I'm sorry, but the amount of men and rapes and harassment that women have gone through, it unfortunately, I think it's ruined for the whole male species. Like, y'all, like, it's just the way that it is. Like, whenever we see a man, we're like, oh shit. Think about it this way: 8 out of 10 women have been sexually harassed, have been in a situation where they were uncomfortable, or where they have been actually harmed or raped, or just some shit in that category, right? Men, it's a much lower statistic than that. I'm not saying men don't get harassed. I'm not saying men don't get raped. That is also very much true. But the reality of it is that how many more women have been put in that situation? So unfortunately, I do think that men have ruined it for us, because we're just not safe. I think that the women mentality now is like, I gotta have pepper spray, I gotta have a gun, I gotta have something, a taser, whatever, to protect myself from who? From men.
I mean, I see that, and I give you the other side of the example. Like, you give me the example of this girl getting attacked by the gym, but I give you my example about the girl that was trying to label this guy as a fucking baby because he was just staring for a second. Like, right. One bad apple ruined it for everybody, and that goes in both directions.
I agree.
Goes both ways.
I agree.
So we came to the point where we cannot be safe from each other. So, and I think like one huge part of that has been social media. I feel like the solution for the gym problem will be to not allow phones. Straight up.
Okay, if we don't allow phones, how are we gonna know if there's somebody harassing us?
Because there should be people and there should be cameras there. Like,
yeah, but the employees don't do anything. Like, it is what it is. Like, you're gonna tell me that somebody that's getting paid $14 an hour is going to, first of all, they're gonna be like, what, in their 20s, their early 20s, late 20s maybe, and they're just employees of the gym. Do they have any self-defense training? Do they have any CPR training? Do they have any security type of thing training? They're not going to know what to do. And I'm just going to put it in an example. Let's say we're at 24 Fitness, right? 24-hour gym. And it's this girl working out by herself, and there's an attendant there that's at the door, and it's also a female. let's say a big dude, or not even a big dude, just a dude that's stronger than them comes up and he starts tag teaming them both, right? What is the employee gonna do? And there's cameras there. There's cameras. There's the gym cameras, and there's also an employee. But what are they gonna do? Like, maybe because it's two girls, they have a chance. But let's be honest, if a girl is just like a regular schmegular girl like me, and a girl that's also just working out, that is also like my size, we're fucked. Like, as simple as that, we're just fucked.
Okay, and to me, that will be understanding that the world is not a safe place. Like, people wanna pretend that the world should be, that the world should be a certain way, which is the right way, but it isn't. It will never be, and it has never been. So we need to understand that in order to take the next step.
Right.
So if you know that you're a woman and you're, like you said, statistically you're more likely to get molested and catcalled and all this bad shit, then also avoid putting yourself in that situation. So if you know that after hours you will be more exposed in a lonely place such as the gym at night, in the middle of the night, then don't go there. It sounds horrible. I know it's not the right way, but you have to be smart about your own safety and understand that some men are bad men, just like some women are bad women. Don't put yourself in a harm situation on purpose.
And I agree that as women we should also be smart in putting ourselves in those type of situation. It's just so shitty how if I want to go to the gym at 11 p.m. and get out of there at 1 a.m., I can't because I'm scared that some dude is gonna do something to me. Like,
don't fucking point at me.
I mean, not you. You know, he's my brother. He's good. You know, just like some random ass. I'm gonna have to be worried that I can't even go to the gym at the times that I wanna go to the gym. Like, there's people in this world that work late. Okay, there's we work late. We used to get out at like what? 12 a.m. and like shit like that, and we couldn't go to the gym because we were at work all day, and we would go to the gym at like 1 a.m. Like, it is what it is. And the fact that I have to consider that at all is just so ugly. Like, it's just a reality of the world that we live in today that is ugly, period.
It's a disgusting reality, but it's the reality that we live in, and we cannot change it. So what we can do, we can adapt to it and work ourselves to make it better.
Right.
Because, like, you give the example of that of some guy coming into the gym and getting attacked to another girl. So I, like, your example was like if it was in the middle of the night. I get it. Like I said, don't put yourself in that situation. But if it was in the middle of rush hour and you see this guy catcalling and doing all this douchey shit to another girl, I can bet my ass that more than one man will step on and be like, "Hey, got your shit up."
Right. I do think that somebody.
So I feel like you gotta balance it out. You know,
right.
Like, as a woman, don't put yourself in that situation, and as a man, don't become that fucking asshole. So it has to be a balance between men and women. You're not all the way right, and I'm not all the way right.
Right.
So we need to balance it out. Women need to stop putting themselves in a situation in which they know they have a disadvantage because of fucking physics. Right. Well, your body,
your physical
abilities in there. Because like men will always be stronger than women. That's just the way it works. That was the way we were made. So whether they like it or not, if I punch you, if a girl my size, my height, and my weight punch me and I punch her back, I know I'm gonna fuck her up. Unless she's like a very trained martial art expert and all that shit, then she has a chance even to kick my ass. Yeah. But if he's like a basic dude with a basic girl and one-on-one, the guy will always win. It's just common sense at this point.
Yeah.
So as a woman, don't put yourself in a situation in which you can be harmed and be put in these situations. And as a man, don't be that fucking asshole and try to be an example instead of being one of the bad apples that makes everybody else look bad. And that goes for women. Don't be one of those bad women that make all women look bad.
Right.
Because in this case, I feel like we ruined the gym for each other at this point.
Honestly, yeah, we did ruin the gym for each other because y'all are afraid of being labeled as creeps. And then we're afraid of being with creeps. Honestly, just be a nice fucking person. Mind your own fucking business. Don't be harassing nobody. Yeah. And I think that's just such an ugly thing. Like, I don't know. There's just no other way to put it. Just the fact that it's an ugly reality right now. Like, poor girl was just trying to work out. She opened the door for this dude, and then next thing you know, she's getting attacked. And like, thankfully, she was a boss bitch, and she was able to get him off. But like, thankfully, nothing happened to her. And it's just like, but think about that shit. She's gonna be fucking traumatized for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
Like, that shit is not gonna be like, oh, this happened. Like, nah. Every time she goes to the gym, I'm sure that that shit is gonna be on the back
She's
of her
gonna be
mind.
looking at her shoulder.
Yeah, absolutely. Is she going to go to the gym at night by herself or again?
No fucking way.
Maybe not. But you never know. So it's just sad. It's just very sad.
Yeah, and as a woman, if you're looking sexy and you want to feel sexy, just learn to deal with people who are going to check you out. Not in a creepy way, just in a respectful way. Because
Right.
I know it doesn't sound respectful when you're just checking somebody out, but if you're looking good, men are going to notice. That's
Right.
something that is going to just, it has to happen. It will
Right.
happen. So just learn to deal with it. And if you don't like it, then don't wear something so provocative. That's the only
I feel like that's such like a...
it is.
It's such a controversial thing to say because are you saying that I can't wear whatever the fuck I want?
I'm saying you can in certain situations because we're going back to the same thing. It's not fair for the woman, but at the same time, me as a man, I know what men are capable of and how fucking disgusting some of us are.
Yeah.
So as a man, I will tell you as a woman, as my sister, as my blood, do not dress a certain way because I know what some men are capable of. So
Right.
I will hate for you to put yourself in that situation and then some motherfucking douchebag like try to do something to you because of just the simple thing of the way you look.
Right.
Simple as that.
I think I think it goes back to like what you said, and I really really like that you said this. I think that we ruined it for each other.
We really
Yes.
fucking did. Shit.
That was a good topic.
It was.
That was a really good topic.
But just to wrap this up, like, what was her name again? Because she deserves all the fucking praises in the
Oh
world.
yeah, Nashali Alma.
Girl,
you
boss ass
did you
bitch.
did what you had to do, baby, and I'm sorry that this happened to you. And just so we know what this man's name is, homeboy's name. Yeah, we need to fucking know. Is 25-year-old Xavier Thomas Jones. Fuck you. Like, fuck you, literally. It was around 10:40 p.m. So, yeah.
It wasn't even that late. Shit.
I mean, it's 10:40. Like, it's not midnight. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So, like, yeah. So, don't forget his fucking name. Fuck him. And my girl, you did the fucking thing. And I'm glad that you're okay. But I'm sorry that shit happened.
But I'm happy you were able to overcome it and to kick that dude's ass.
Yeah, like,
You're a bad bitch.
You're a badass. You're a boss woman for doing that shit.
Sign for the UFC, baby. Just
We
roll
will
kick.
watch. We would definitely watch if you're in the UFC because that was amazing. Ladies, get your fucking some to self classes.
You
like,
really do need them.
Honestly, like we see it every day. Like that shit is necessary at this point. Like at this point, like it's just ugly. But he in jail. I don't know if he's still in jail, but he went to jail.
Nah, I don't know. It depends how high the bone was.
Okay, but that's like another thing that we should really talk about is the fucking
What time is it?
how many people are in prison for drug related charges and how very little people are in prison for sexual misconduct, harassment. People ask for drugs. Nobody asks to get raped.
But I was gonna say define rape, but that's not my question. I feel like some people are in jail because I think you can get accused with like for example child molestation. I think is what it's called, the charge. If you date someone who's like under 18.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
an example is if you're 19 and you're dating a 17-year-old, that's not a huge weight gap.
That's still a case.
It's still a case,
Mm.
and that's a fucking problem. I feel like some people are just victim of the system because of how
Yes.
great those areas are. So we'll have to
yes.
see those statistics to be able to like
To have
correctly
a-
address that question.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay, and actually speaking of the UFC, this because this I think you guys are gonna like this shit.
I like UFC. They're fun.
I fucking love that
They're
thing.
so fun.
I-
They be whew.
I will go
They
to
be
one
for
of these events one
real.
of these days, and I want to do an amateur fight for
Amateur?
one of those. Yes, amateur fight. Yes, my Spanish slipped through, but this past weekend was UFC 285, and what was amazing there were two amazing things in this one. The first one and the most important one for the sport was that John Jones, a fighter that is considered the greatest of all time, just came back after a 3-year
Hiatus.
layout period because he was he had some troubles outside the octagon and he got caught doing drugs and like beating people out on the street and more shady stuff. You know, like his actions were not the best outside of the ring, but inside the ring he was the best and he's still the best and he just won a title back and he's the heavyweight champion of the world in the UFC and that shit is amazing. But before that, there was a women's fight. And one of the fighters, and we'll need to find her name because she's a boss ass bitch. She was Mexican. Well, she's Mexican.
Ooh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, what's her name? Let's look up her name.
It's I want to say Giselle, but I'm not 100% sure. UFC 285. UFC 285 core or results. Should be the fight before.
Alexa Grasso?
Alexa Grasso. So she's from Guadalajara, Mexico.
Guadalajara in the house.
And she just won the world title. She beat the ex-champion, the former champion, Valentina Shevchenko. I don't know where she's from, but I know she's from like some place like Russia or something like that.
Let's look it up.
And I was really happy that she won because she was representing all of us. You know, she was representing the Mexican dream. People always talk about the American dream, but I feel like that she represents the Mexican dream. And they're calling what?
She is Kyrgyzstani and Peruvian.
Oh wow!
Where is Kyrgyzstani?
Next to Croatia and all those countries, I would imagine so. That's a small country.
I've never heard of Kyrgyzstan in my life.
Kyrgyzstan.
It's in Central Asia.
Yeah.
Okay, girl, you do your thing.
She's a badass bitch.
She's Kyrgyzstani and
like,
Peruvian.
Like Valentina Shevchenko is no fucking joke. She can
look at her abs; they're crazy.
She can kill a motherfucker with a kick, and she has done that. So the fact that a Mexican was able to kick her ass was fucking amazing. And then they're calling this year, 2023, the year of the Mexican. Because there are 3 Mexican-born champions in the UFC right now. And she became the first female to won the world title.
Right.
So I think that was extremely badass, and it's been such a huge celebration in Mexico and all over social media about her victory. So I feel like this is throwing such a positive and good shadow to all Mexicans.
Yep.
And it's just representing us in the best possible way, because I feel like Mexicans from the longest of time have been represented as thieves, rapists, cartel people,
Mr.
like
Trump.
all the bad shit. I mean, what Trump said was like even before him, like
Yeah,
he
yeah,
says
yeah.
some wild shit.
We just had this stereotype.
Yeah, I mean, but all stereotypes are based on truth.
Yeah, I do agree on that.
So I mean, I know a lot of fucking people that has done shady things too, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can definitely see why they will label us as that. So our job as a culture, as a nation, is to prove them wrong. And I feel like this year, with these people winning the sports and putting the name of Mexico up high,
Yep.
is showing that we're better than what they label us at. And I mean, we earned that label.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like we're shaking that shit up a little bit. And that shit is just something that it makes me proud. When I didn't know who she was before this fight.
Mm-hmm.
But after this fight, I saw that I was like, that sounds like a Mexican name. So I Googled her. And I was like, oh. And I thought she was one of those Mexican-American girls. Yeah. But then I realized that she was actually born and she trains in Mexico. And she's representing Mexico. So she's not like one of those fighters that have like a super basic Mexican name, but they're fighting or like competing representing the U.S.
Right.
So I was like, okay, you're representing the country.
Yeah.
You're representing the homeland, the motherland.
I think Mexico has been on the map. Yeah, this last couple years, just was building up this momentum. Like, for example, what's her name? Katia Echacerrata. Homegirl is the first Mexican-born woman to go to space. You know what I'm saying? Like, she a bad bitch too. So I feel like we're hearing a lot of Mexican women. So yeah, I do like that we are putting Mexico even more on the map. I think that it's not.
That's a positive one.
I don't think it's necessary that like it's not necessarily that we have such a bad reputation and such a bad like connotation of like who we really are, because when people think of Mexico, people think of like dirt roads, donkeys type shit. But I'm
cartels.
Like, cartels, which is, you know, like I get it, but like we are literally like New York. We're literally like LA. You know, like go to Mexico City. It's a city, and it's a city with money.
And it's bigger than New York.
And it's bigger than New York. Yeah, it is huge. It's fucking huge. Okay, so like I think that people just, like you said earlier, like it's just so uneducated and just so like fixed on the stereotype or on that image that is not all the way true. Like Mexico no domina el mundo porque no quiere. Like Mexicans are fucking...
You cut me off guard. I was like, what she said?
when you're thinking in Spanish, but then you say things in English, it's like No, but like yeah, I do think that Mexico is just it's just like okay, bitches, like yeah, we have tacos, we have margaritas, blah blah, blah but homie, we're bigger than that, and we have so much more shit that people just don't know about, and it's just like get to know us for the badasses that we really are.
True. Shit. So I'm really happy for her. We have 3 champions right now that are just making the flags thing tall and proud, and I'm happy for them and I'm cheering for them. So that's fucking. I feel like that was a good way to wrap the event. Well, it wasn't the final,
Mexico.
but it was good. So
Yeah.
I'm really happy for her, and I hope we get to see more of these Mexican fighters in the upcoming months and years, and not just the fighters, just the athletes in general. Because I feel like Mexico has really good athletes.
Yeah.
Just unfortunately, the government does not support the sport or like any sport like other countries. So
Yeah.
most of the good ones come to like countries like the U.S.
Yeah.
So they represent the U.S. and I fucking agree with that because
I do,
you
but I hate
represent, huh?
I get it, but I hate it.
I mean, you do, but at the same time, you gotta be grateful for, in this case, a country that open up and give you the opportunity.
Right.
You know, because if your homeland did not give you the opportunity, then I mean, I love my country, but I gotta stand with the person who was, or like in this case, the country that was behind me.
Right.
And I feel like that's something that, especially that the Mexicans and just the Hispanic communities that come from other countries to the U.S., they don't understand. They leave their country for a reason because their own country did not provide enough for them.
Yes.
So it became to the point which they needed to leave in search of a better life. So then they come to the US, they make a little money, they feel like the big shit, and they start shitting on their very own country that give them the life that they're enjoying that like right
Yes.
now. And I don't appreciate that. As a Mexican American, I feel very proud to be Mexican, but I'm also very fucking proud of being part of this country because it gave me these opportunities that I would not have had in Mexico. Like the car that I'm
Right.
driving right now, I will never have been able to drive it doing the job that I currently am in Mexico.
Right.
We will not be able to have like all these fucking equipment and like all, because I mean this shit is
that's
expensive.
true. That is very true.
I fucking love my country, but they did not give me the opportunity, and they opened the doors for me to be able to reach my potential or like try to find a hobby such as this.
It's just so much harder.
So don't shit on the country that opened up their arms for you,
be proud of both of the countries that
and be thankful
be happy where you come from.
and be
Be
respectful
thankful for where you are now.
and respectful.
Yes.
Because people disrespect the U.S. flag, and I don't think that shit is right. Especially because we are guests in this country.
Yeah.
And some of these
Well, I mean, they
motherfuckers,
kind of stole our land.
they did, but that's like government. That's going back to what you say. It's government cover, but like talking
Yeah.
one-on-one,
Yeah.
you cannot be a piece of shit person.
Yeah,
You
I
gotta
agree.
be thankful for that. So if this country give you good shit and you're able to buy a fucking 2023 car and enjoy going to Florida with your family and have a nice car and give your daughter just a car as a 16-year birthday and all this shit, then be fucking thankful and thank the fucking country.
Yeah, I do agree. There's a lot of things that we would never even like think about who were still in Mexico.
No.
Like, I don't know. I always wonder like where our life would be if we stayed in Mexico. You know what I'm saying? But I'm very grateful for all the experiences that I've had in this country. Like we've lived through some shit that is like you only hear about this shit in the movies,
True.
in fucking TV shows, and it's like now this is our life. So like yeah, like I'm always gonna be Mexican, 100% Mexican, and proud to be Mexican, and always gonna emphasize that as much as I can in my life. But I'm grateful for United States. You know, maybe I want to leave one day, but up until today, I'm very grateful for everything that I have and the bank account that I have.
See, and that's another thing. People come to this country and they shit on the country and they say like, oh, I'm just here to make money and then go back to my country, open a little business and build a house so they can get the fuck out of this boring country and all
But
this
people still
shit.
want to make dollars.
Yeah, they want to. No. Let me finish my fucking point, because that's where I was going. So they shit all over the country like that.
Right.
But then they're able to like build their house in, I don't know, Guatemala, Mexico, any other fucking South American country, and they go back and they realize that life is not that easy. So I know, like even now, I work with people who say that did that, and then they came back 6 or a year later, 6
Right.
months or a year later. Because they were like, it's not as fucking easy. Like, I'm not making as much money. I was used to like this lifestyle, and like every like I don't know, once a month and every like couple months go to a concert, or go eat at this fancy restaurant, or like drive this nice truck that I had, or like be able to buy clothes whenever I wanted to, and I can do that shit in Mexico. So they end up coming back. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, don't be a fucking hypocrite about it.
Yeah, I do agree on that. I think it's, like I said, it's just a time and a place for everything. Just know that you are not gonna be able to do everything that you do here in another country. That's why you came to that country.
And we're talking from experience, and also because I will be a little biased if I hear like a black person or a white person talking about this, because they did not live, just like I wouldn't be able to shit on white culture or black culture because I do not live that culture. But I can shit on Mexican culture because I lived through that culture. Like,
Yeah.
I know the white and black culture, but I don't know it. Like, I don't know the roots, but I know
Yeah.
the roots of my people.
Right.
So I think we can make a critical decision and be able to call them their bullshit.
I think we can just talk about it from our own perspective. Like you said, you have a car, I have a car, mom has a car.
We have a fucking car that is just collecting dust.
Yeah, we have a car that is just there because it's
Paying
just
full
fucking
insurance
old.
for that shit. It's not all, bitch.
I mean,
I love my baby.
I mean, but you don't even drive that shit.
She's
no
my
more.
baby, and not how I'm not gonna say.
Okay, but you don't even drive it. But that's what I'm saying. We have 4 cars. There's 4 adults in this house, and it's like we would never be able to do that. Like, first of all, where are we gonna find the land to park it? Okay, like
Especially where we came from.
where
this big
would
city.
we park 4 cars? Nowhere. We would get that shit robbed in a minute. We would get the tires blown off every single night. So I do agree. I do agree to be thankful for the opportunities that we have here. It's just a matter of accepting that, unfortunately, the country that we love and we grew up and we identify with did not give us those opportunities. For whatever reason, whether it's a government shitty, there's too much crime in the streets, blah, 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 all that shit. But here, we can. We just can't be part of our culture. So it's a hard pill to swallow. I think that's really what it is. It's a hard pill to swallow that you want these things that this country is giving you, but you want it in your own country. So you're like, why can't I have this in my country? That my country has some bomb ass food. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would love to be able to just go down the street and not have to drive. Like, just go literally to the corner street and get some fucking tacos, some fresh tacos. But if I want to get some tacos here, bitch, I gotta drive a whole ass hour. So I'm like,
they're not really that good.
and they're not even good. So that makes me even more mad. So it's just like, you really just can't have it all in this life. You have to be thankful for what you have, where you have it, and how you have it.
Amen.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Oh, fuck. How do we get to that shit again?
What?
How do we get to that?
Because you were talking about Mexico, about the fighters.
Yeah.
So, homies, girls, we run this mother. Hey, girls. No, I think the girls are killing it this year. The Mexican girlies are killing it. Hopefully, we'll continue to kill it. Maybe one day we'll be on that spectrum of Mexican pride. Like, maybe one day our country will be fucking proud for something that we did.
See, and I'm using that.
Like Guillermo del Toro, like he a boss bitch. He a boss motherfucker too. So I think, I don't know about you, but for me, because I'm like so proud and I'm like, yes, I'm Mexican, blah, blah, blah. I think for me, I do want to be a pride of my country.
Yeah.
Like, if I ever have a name, they'll be like, yup, she's Mexican. And maybe someday somebody will be like, she's Mexican, so I can do it too. It's like, a fucking Mexican astronaut. Like, bitch, she fucking did that. She did that shit. And there was another Mexican astronaut, I have his name right here. So Jose Hernandez was also a Mexican-born astronaut. And I think...
I didn't know him.
Yeah. He was before...
The other chick.
He was before Katia. So, I mean, it's just so cool because, like, whenever you think of, like, astronauts and shit like that, you think of Russia, Americans, China, maybe?
Yeah, I guess.
Maybe? I don't know.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, it's a superpower.
Yeah, just like superpower countries. And it's just like, we really are trying to make our mark in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, worldwide known.
No. And I mean, if you really think about it, we're fucking everywhere. If you go to a fucking...
We are everywhere, bitch.
If you go to
We
a
love to
Chinese
travel.
restaurant, you'll find a Mexican there. And, like, for example, like Franco
Escamilla, another Mexican jam.
Yeah, like, he's putting, like, the Mexican name, like, up there. Like, he's
Such
representing
a badass.
the flag proudly. And I mean, he has no, but my point was that we're everywhere, and he did shows in like Japan and
Yes, he
China,
did.
and I mean, he filled spaces with like 100 people. So I mean, we're fucking everywhere. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's the same for the rest of the. I would guess like people like Indians and Chinese people, like they're everywhere too. But I feel like Mexicans are everywhere in this fucking country. Like
Right.
our cousin is in fucking Norway.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're everywhere.
Yeah, we have another cousin that's literally in Spain, Hawaii. Shit.
We're pissed all over the world.
We're what?
We're just all over the world.
We are all over the world, and that's awesome. That's a great thing to hear from people that usually don't have a lot,
Yeah.
and can't get a lot because it's just a cycle. Like we have family that is always just like struggling, and it's just like, oof, like you've been struggling for years. You know what I'm saying? Like that sucks. Like they can't even make ends meet sometimes, and it's just like, yeah, you gotta go because this country ain't doing it, unfortunately. Like it's just sad. Like I said earlier, it's just, I think it's annoying that you want these things from your own country and you can't even have them because it's just not available to you.
Yeah, and it's crazy because now we're going back to Mexico again, but like we have family that have PhDs,
Yup.
and we are making the same as a person who has a PhD in Mexico,
Yup.
and even more sometimes, which is fucking crazy.
We make more, I think.
So
doing
that's another
whatever-
reason why we should be thankful for this kind of countries. Like you see a person that came from like a fucking middle of the woods little village in Mexico, making that kind of money with that little education. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Here
it's
in this
unheard.
country.
It's just unheard of.
It just blows my mind. It blew my fucking mind when we got here. I was like, that motherfucker who can even fucking read is making that much money and driving that fucking car and having that big ass house. Yeah, that shit blew my mind.
That better be mom, because who the fuck is that?
A ghost.
Okay, yeah, it's her. I hear. I was like, goddamn, who the fuck live in this house at this hour?
A ghost.
Don't play with me, bitch, because I do believe in ghosts, and I'm just gonna let them take me. Because what am I gonna do? Fight them?
Why not? Square up with the ghost.
You know what? I think I would have like a conversation and be like, listen, what's really going on? Do you need help to get to the other side, or do you
light.
want to possess me? Because if you want to possess me, how about you don't? And you possess somebody else. Anyways, that would be another good topic.
Yeah. And I would like to like go deep into it because I feel like there's some things that people have said, and like I have the fortune, and like as many other millions of Mexican Americans, to look for content in both English and Spanish.
Yeah.
And sometimes they say that, oh, this demon is one of the biggest demons in the world, and then you look for him in Spanish and that bitch is nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
So he's like, so he's the biggest fucking demon out there, and he's just like fucking people's like all over the world, or is it a production of our own minds?
That's what I'm saying, though. That's kind of like the dome theory. It depends on where you are in the world. Different levels.
Yeah. Mm.
Different worlds. Different Mario lobbies. Different Mario worlds is what I'm trying to do.
We need to do a special for that when it gets spooky season.
I'm ready for spooky. I love Halloween. I love October.
Dia de
October.
Muertos is better.
I'm saying like October, November is my
Oh.
favorite time of year. Like October 20th to November 5th, I'm lit. I'm lit all day, every day. I'm dressed up, painted up, costumed up, hair crazy. Yeah, I go all out. I love that time of the year.
That's a good time. It's beautiful. But alright, got anything else you want to talk about?
I think that's it. I think we had a good little hour discussion.
We really did though. How you wrap it up?
Thank you for watching.
We need to get more alcohol next time. Well, not alcohol, just a drink. But somebody what is it called?
Shit, you want to do a shot?
Support us? No, sponsor us. Oh,
Sponsor us? Honestly,
because it sounds a lot on the microphone. It sounds a lot on the microphone. Bitch ass.
shit, do you want to do a shot to finish it off?
Nah, because I will have stop the recording and all
Alright.
that shit. But yeah, let's just wrap it up. It's been a good conversation.
It really has been. It's
Let
been-
us know what you think about your opinion about like bitches dressing up sexy, guys being creeps in the gym, like the dumb theory. What else we talk about?
Mexican Pride.
Mexican Pride.
If you're
And
from
then-
if you're from another country, who's your pride person?
Yeah.
Like, who are
Without
you proud
shedding
of?
on this very own country though. Show
Wherever
respect.
wherever you are in the world, you share your own. Wherever you're from, who is a person that is like that's for my country.
And wear that flag proud.
Yeah, always
Without
wear your
disrespecting.
flag proud.
Without disrespecting. Because a lot of people forget that shit.
All right,
But
well,
anyways, let's wrap it up though. Cheers.
cheers.
That was loud. Somebody's gonna bitch at it on the video.
You can just turn it down.
That was a good video.
Yeah, I liked it.
It was
I'm
good.
happy.
It's good. It's good.